Bitcoin is a bank in cyberspace. Monetary energy, core of the earth. Doubles every year. Listen to my words. Selling doesn't hurt. Selling is absurd. It's like cutting off your wings, but you want to be a bird.
Be actually putting it before the drive time video, because obviously I've got loads of questions and this and that, and I wanted to kind of show you what I'm seeing so far, right? And you got to understand the bigger picture. Of course, we're talking about the bigger picture here. A brother asked me that Ethereum flipping and this and that, right? So I'm going to play, this video is going to be different. So right now you're getting this segment, which I've recorded now. And then I've got two other segments, which actually, one I recorded just on my way here about half an hour ago. And then another segment of Raol Pal. So I'll add it all together, kind of try and mumbo jumbo it together. And then I hope you can see exactly what's going on. Right, so what we're going to look at is, number one, we're looking at the Bitcoin BLX chart, right, which is the entire history of Bitcoin. So what we're looking at is currently where we are, and I've put this particular kind of, it's not a prediction, but I'm just trying to show you if someone bought it on this particular dump, right? So you've got to look at the BLX, right? So what the BLX is showing out. So this is on the weekly, right? So we're looking at the weekly, and this is our 21-week moving average, right? So with BLX wise, if you're looking, if you bought during this particular dump, then up to the top of the market, which I'm expecting to be around October, November-ish, right? We're looking at a 336% from where we are today, right? Currently we're around these figures somewhere here. Where is it? Forget the average. We're looking at the bottom. This one isn't going to show me the current price because this is a different type of chart. But what we're looking at here is obviously how high we can go. So that's the kind of a bullish scenario we've got, right? We want to change things a little bit. So let's have a look at the daily. And if you look at the daily, you can see that the bigger picture here is BTC, right? And this is what I'm seeing, right? So the same chart, except it's on daily now. The same chart, what you're looking at is, this is the 200-day, this aqua line here. This is a 200-day moving average, right? And if you look carefully, we haven't gone above it yet. We need to get back on top of this 200-day moving average in order for the full trend to change, right? So now if I show you another chart, right, and this is the normal BTC USD chart. I've just made like, this one's a clean chart. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch off some of this. We don't need any of this, right? Let's switch this off. And what we're looking at, and ignore this as well. This doesn't matter. Actually, I can get rid of these now because they're not relevant in some form or manner. They are, but they're not, right? Let's just talk about this, right? So let's go on a daily and see what the trend is showing us. So this is the bigger picture we're looking at. Let's use this particular trend here. Right, so we're using this trend here, and what we're seeing is we have kind of broken. So if you, let me just adjust it, I'm putting it on as good as possible. So there we are. So if you look carefully, right, this is the trend. So far what we've got is this particular line here, right? So this is where we broke above the trend, right? Funnily, this is the bullish trend that we've got. So if we put another candle here, thing here, and this is what we're looking at, right? So we can see this is a higher low compared to this, right? So higher low. So we're still actually bullish, and this is what I was showing you here. So you've got two trend lines. You've got the longer trend line, all right, and this is on the hourly, and then you've got the shorter trend line. But actually, right now, if you look carefully, right, the trend line is actually forming differently. This is what I was talking about, that I will change the trend line. So this is actually much more of a better trend line, right? So we just got to kind of follow this. But what you need to also look at is, ultimately, we are inside a triangle. So because the data is so low, the triangle can change, but this is ultimately forming into an ascending triangle, which we're quite happy about. Now, talking about Ethereum flipping, and I want to show you Ethereum flipping, right? Forget the flipping. Right now, the boys have bought it here. The big boys, them, those, they have bought it here, right? And this is where we're finding support. And also on a bullish trend, by the way, it's on an upward trend, which means it's bullish, right? So this is the upward trend we're looking at. It's a bullish trend, right? So yeah, what we're looking at is we've got an upward trend line. So Ethereum also on an upward trend line, but following exactly BTC. And a lot of people call it like BTC and Ethereum are kind of pegged together, like kind of trending together. It's got nothing to do with that, right? But let me explain what the big boys want to do now. Big boys have picked it up here. They're right here right now. They want to pump it up to this level. If they do, look at the percentage they're going to be making just by going back to the previous all-time high. In fact, the previous all-time high was here, right? So if I adjust this as well, all right, they're going to make 68%. They're looking for that. Remember, they're in it for the quick money, so they want to make as much quick money as possible. Now, I want to show you the total market cap. I want to show you is total market cap is holding on a daily the 200-day moving average. This is the total entire market cap, and I did the fibs on this one, right? So if you look carefully, the market cap itself, it bounced all the way down here, and then it found support, it broke support, found support again, and this is what's happening on a daily. We need to get back into this golden zone. All right, and this golden zone, as you can see, is the $2 trillion golden zone. So if we go back to the $2 trillion, BTC and everything, you'll see the reflection. It will all follow together. This is the market cap of without BTC, right? Without BTC, and look, we didn't go to the 200-day, right? We're kind of down here, which is the red line. Let me just check what the red line is. Give me 1 second. Just to double check, moving average 4, and moving average 4 was the 100-day, right? So we're holding on so we broke the 100-day and we're on the 100-day. So alts are performing a lot better than BTC, but remember, BTC is the king, right? It drags everything down. So I wanted to kind of show you this, right? So you understand how it works. And also, if we go back to this Ethereum one and look at this particular daily one, so I'm sure I spoke about Ethereum may go down again, and we were talking about down here, right? And this greater trend line, this trend line here, so we have to put a trend line here. So let's just put a trend line here and we'll talk about it, right? So this greater trend line is still playing numbers. So as you can see, the 2K, everything, this particular level here, and I'll put a line just to show you, is still in play. This 1967 is still in play, right? So sometimes your fibs are going to cheat you. So we have to use multiple indicators to understand this. Coming back to BLX, right? Have a look at, this is the weekly BLX, and I told you on the weekly, right? The green is the 21 week, right? We're below this, right? You see this particular thing here, and the white is 50, by the way, 50 moving week. You see this blue here, right? And let me zoom into it. This blue has to flip back into this zone in order for us to be bullish and whatnot, right? So we're not there yet. This is what I want you to understand. The percentage moves we're going to see are going to be ridiculous right now, okay? And you know, they are trying to do everything to shake as many people out of the Bitcoin and into Ethereum, and then try and flip Ethereum. Now, if we want to do a flipping of Ethereum, what you're looking at, right, is number one, you got to look at the volume flipping. So BTC volume being nothing. So we're looking at BTC. Actually, let me refresh. This is yesterday's. Look at this number, by the way. Watch this, 10,087. Refresh. Ooh, 10,119. More scam coins, right? So anyway, let's get back into this. So what we need to see, number one, we need to see is BTC, this volume drop, this volume increase. That's how we know we're starting the flipping. Number two, we need to see this price here, this 300, which is almost like 50% of BTC, being this number, and BTC then coming here. That's what's going to happen. We're talking a lot of money. A lot of money needs to enter Ethereum, right, in order for it to do that. Is it possible? And you know, right now, looking at it, absolutely. I mean, 400 billion, and guess what? We flipped it. We just need 400 more billion and we flipped it. It is absolutely possible. But is it going to affect BTC? I doubt it, because guess what? A lot of the money entering the DeFi sector, especially the DeFi sector, is actually BTC being converted into WBTC and put into Ethereum, right? That's where they're making the money. So I'm not going to make this any longer. Let's continue with the video that we were doing. Actually, Helium just popped up, right? Brother mentioned Helium is doing very good, 27% up today. So I'm really glad for you. I think, it's 20% up. So I'm really happy for you that you bought the signal, and you can see. Remember one thing though, if you've made significant gains, you've put like a couple thousand in, you made some money, you made 25%. Take as much money as you can, right? Take as much money off the table as you can. Then you can buy the dip when we do have the dip, because even Helium will have a dip. And let me quickly just check this here. 1 second. Let me just check HNT. Let's just check if HNT, sorry, wrong one. HNT USD, right? Let's have a look and see if HNT actually is going to be forming a dip, right? So looking at this, I've got a feeling H&T might come back a little bit and test the 786 level, but ultimately H&T is very bullish. And if you bought it down here, you're laughing, right? If you bought the signal, fantastic, you're doing really good. Also, while I'm on it, let me just check Rune and see what Rune is doing, because I am going to jump back into Rune. So I'm going to wait for this candle, this one particular candle here. I'm going to wait for this. And again, I showed the same thing to somebody else yesterday, actually. I said, and this was on a previous video as well, that look at the percentage gains we can do on Rune, right? And let me flip this over, because I know I did something wrong here, to see the percentage gain we're going to be doing, because that was the discount. If we do, and from here going up there is 268%. Right now, if I jump in, so for example, if I jump in right here and I climb back all the way only up to the previous high, then I'm going to make an 89% basically. So I'm still happy. This is where I lost the trade, but I'm happy. I'll probably just jump back in again right now after this video and then just climb it back up to there. This time I'm just going to hold. I'm not going to trade it, because that was just me being greedy. But then again, I told you, risk management. Watch the video, you'll understand. So let's move into the other video and then we'll talk about it more. What I want to talk about is something, well, a few bits and bobs, right? But there's a brother who mentioned something yesterday regarding, like, you know, if I buy BTC now and then climb it up to 3K and then sell and then so on and so forth. This is not that video, by the way, all right? Just to let you know in the beginning, this is not that video. That video is going to be dedicated on a chart just for you. We're going to show it to you, right? So it's going to be much more easier. And I think I spoke to the brother on a private chat. I think we're going to be doing something on a video together. It's just so much more easier to make sense, right? And so anyway, cut the long story short, what I did say to him, I said, bro, if it goes to 3K, then it's more likely to go to 5K. So at that time, you don't want to be doing it. See, the initial investment trick, right? It's hard. Trust me, it's hard. And you heard about Raol Pal and everything, right? I mentioned it on one of the group. This is funny. Raol Pal sent a letter today, like for his Real Vision thingy, right? Where you pay, like, I think it's $250 a year or something like that. So his subscription service, he sent a letter and he said something that actually, you know, I haven't said to many people, and makes sense. So obviously, remember, he's got people employed to do this for him, right? And he said something and it made so much sense. He said, it's not about controlling your emotion. It's controlling your action. And it made so much sense to me. I said, actually, do you know what? What he's saying is right. When the market goes up, when the market goes down, you can't control your emotion. You are human by nature. Your emotions cannot be controlled, but your actions can. And it's true, because though when I talk about controlling your emotion, I'm actually talking about controlling your action. It's all action. So he put it right for me, you know, I should be using action, because that's what you do. You don't FOMO, you don't FUD. That is action, you taking the action, right? Which makes proper sense to me right now. I have to be honest, like, it just made so much sense when this guy said this, you know. It's all about your action. So if we use that, and if we say, okay, if, right, and I'm going to use a bit of Michael Saylor here as well in a bit, right, understand this, what I'm trying to say, and I'll explain it with Michael Saylor, what he said recently. In fact, he said this 3 days ago. So the market itself, right, Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything, we know Bitcoin is the king. When Bitcoin takes a little bit of a dive, everybody takes a dive, right? Everyone just follows suit. You know, this is how it works. So if we're expecting Bitcoin to, and I want to show it on a chart, because it's, well, you'll understand more when I show you the pattern, the predictable pattern, right? So this pattern doesn't exist. It's not on the chart, but I can draw it and I can show you what kind of a trajectory it has, what it will be doing in the next few days to a few weeks, right? I can show you this. This is why it's all about being calm. Of course, if you bought it now, boom, you're smashing it. You're doing very good. But if you don't follow the candles, right? So you bought it, say for example, you bought it at current price. I'm just going to give you a rough example here. I don't know off the top of my head what the price is. Say in Ethereum is 2K, right? It's 2K today, and it goes up to 2.5K. All you have to do is take 2K out, leave the 500 there, pick up the dip with the 2K again. When you pick up the dip again with the 2K and it goes up again to another 500, you just cleaned yourself another 500, take your 2K out. Now you've got 3K. You can do this all day long. It doesn't matter what price the thing is. You're playing on that margin, like not margin. I'm not talking about trading. I'm talking about spot. Literally, this is spot trading, where you can buy and oh my days. Okay, I'm not going that way. Too much traffic. Sorry, so much traffic this way. When it rains, it's like this anyway around this area. So, but what we're saying is, so you use your 2K to go in and out and constantly stack and accumulate, compound, right? You compound your 10% every round. You compounding 10%, 10%, right? Until you're in a comfortable position where you can say, well, now I've made enough. I've doubled my initial that I had there. So I've got now 2K's worth of extra Ethereum there. Well, now I can keep my 2K that I had and take it out if I want to. I mean, if you want to. However, there are multiple other, emotional, and we can call it action now, right? We can call it action. If you have the thing, you say, okay, I believe this particular currency is going to be okay for me to leave my money, plug my money in for the next 5 years, 10 years. You're fine, leave it there. There's no harm in that, right? That's, again, it's emotion. It's emotion. Your emotion. You've controlled your emotion. You've said you're going to do this. Now, what Michael Saylor said 3 days ago was just brilliant. This mega hype going on about Ethereum this, Ethereum that, Ethereum all over, everywhere. Fake news, obviously, fake news, right? And it's all about creating FOMO into Ethereum. And I mentioned this on another video. I said, look, they've tried to take Ethereum and flip BTC dominance, but they couldn't. They realized they can't. They just don't have the capacity, right? In order for them to do that, and because they do have the capacity, by the way, they do have the capacity, but the point is they don't want to be the ones triggering the price action. They want you to trigger it. All they want to do is make benefit of it, right? They want to make money out of it. So Michael Saylor said this. He said, you can have something, and that's what he done. He said, oh, I've plugged my money into a system that I know I can leave there for the next 10 years, possibly even 100 years. And he's talking about Bitcoin. He says, Bitcoin allows me to do this. I know it's a safe, secure monetary system that I can put all my money in. I can put all my money in. I can put my treasury in, right? And I could sit there for the next 10 years and have a good appreciation of an average of 200% per year without any worry. Listen to what he said. He said, and also I can finance that amount that I have and borrow against it, right? Because of the low risk it has, right? It has 90% success rate and 10% risk. It's a big fundamental, big numbers. So I could rather leave it there, and any institution or bank, a lender, will lend to him. And then he can take that cash, borrow against BTC, take that cash, go buy more, right? That's what he's talking about. When it came to Ethereum, he said the complete opposite. He said it's got a 90% rate of failure. People who are investing, venture capital, hedge funds and this and that, who are all investing, they are betting on that 10% that it can do 100x, 10% that it could do a 10x. That's all they're betting on. They're plugging all their money to make that quick gain because they know they can quickly make, whatever, 50x, 60x, whatever, on all the ERC20 tokens, right? On a smart contract, they can make that money. This is the, return they're going to have, right? The ratio of return they're going to have. But they also know, they're smart people, they know they have a 90% failure rate. So there's a 10% success in Ethereum and there's a 90% success in Bitcoin. You do the maths, right? And this is what you got to understand. The reason he's saying, right, he's not explaining it 100%, but he understands it as well as I do, right? You've got something that goes up 200% average per year. Something that has the power to carry the whole market with it. It just flinches, literally just twitches a little bit. Boom, everybody collapses. So when you got that kind of a volatility in everything else apart from BTC, well, just do your maths. You're better off being there. We talked about how many companies have been buying, right, months and months and months ago, right? And I posted a video, and I'll see if I can put a clip here as well. Maybe I'll do it, maybe I'll not. I'll think about it at the end, right? But what Raol Pal said in somebody else's show, Raol Pal said, he knew about his name's gone now, but this is the thing. Come on. Anyway, I talked about him just the other day. Ray Dalio, right? Because there's so many names out there. You trust me, there's so many names out there. How Ray Dalio has bought it 9 months ago. He knows about it 9 months ago. If he knows about it 9 months ago, imagine when they bought it. Because remember, they only tell you after they've done it. Doing an educated guess, right? If Raol Pal knew about it 9 months ago, that could easily say that they bought it 9 months and 1 week ago. That could easily say they bought it 9 months and 1 day ago. As you know, we can say that, right? Because they don't tell you until they've done it. And if they've told you 9 months ago, then just add another day minimum. Add another day. They're not going to tell you on the hour, right? You know, or add another week. Remember, financial weeks are Monday to Friday. So if they bought on a Friday, they're not telling you for the, you know. So this is what you got to understand, right? You know, they're all in it together. Trust me. He even said that as well. He said they've all in it. So somebody asked him, again on the same interview, it's a 3-minute long interview, and they said, are they all in it? Are they skeptical? Are there any skeptics in there? Are there any skeptics? And he said, yes, 10%. Do you even understand that number? Do you understand the number? There are 10% skeptics globally in the institutions. 10% of the global institution are skeptical, right? So they're afraid. 90% are already in there. They're bullish as hell, but they're not triggering the on-chain, right? Because they know the moment they trigger the on-chain, 10 trillion, 20 trillion, easy. Remember, these guys have money locked in, right? In the stock market, in the forex, in the bonds, in the derivatives, all of that combined together, maybe close to about 500 trillion. So if they take, you know, a small percentage of that, a very small, if every one of those just take a very small percentage and plug it into crypto, do you understand what's going to happen to the market? It's going to explode. It's going to explode. I mean, 10% of 500 trillion, that's 5 trillion. That's 5 trillion, right? Is it 5 or 500? 50. I think it's 50, right? 50 trillion. My God, it's 50 trillion. But this is what it is, right? So, based on what we have right now, if these guys do this, this is what will happen. But they are already doing it. By the way, I believe, and you're going to hear this and you're going to say, this is mad. This guy just lost it now, right? How? What's the proof? There is no proof. I can't give you that proof. But what I can tell you, these guys are buying and selling billions of dollars worth of crypto per day amongst themselves and whatnot. They're exchanging hands and doing whatnot, right? Since it was like peanuts, right? Let's call it peanuts. I mean, a BTC at 1K is a peanut. A BTC at 5K is a peanut, right? Compared to today, right? That's what they've been doing. But those are just sitting there. They're not moving. If they decide, right? If they decide to go and start doing it on chain, my God, I just don't have any words for it, right? It's going to be mental. Now, coming back to, let's talk about charts right now, right? So enough of all of this stuff, right? Let's talk about charts, right? So remember I mentioned last 2 days, I said there's a greater trend line, and the greater trend line is a downward trend line, right? So on the shorter trend line, it's moving upwards and it's facing resistance on a specific line that we drew. Coincidentally, we drew this line on a video, and that line is where we're facing resistance. We broke that support and we became resistance, right? So it's hovering. It's like kind of a sideways movement. This is when a lot of people become a little bit iffy, all right? Again, it seems like, and what I'm seeing so far on chain again, is a lot of these guys, there's a lot of leverage trading going on. Even now, even who are trading these? There's a lot of greedy people out there. You know, coming back to Raol Pal, the same clip, right? I'll play it right now.
And by the way, I knew about this whole Ray Dalio thing 9 months ago.
You knew 9 months ago that he had bought Bitcoin, or that they had bought Bitcoin. Look, I think that a lot more people than we think have bought Bitcoin. I think a lot of them are sitting on the sideline. I mean, Facebook had a shareholders meeting. Everyone thought that they would announce that they were holding Bitcoin. Apple made, I don't know if they made an announcement, but they posted a job which had the word Bitcoin in it, and everybody speculated they're now going all in on crypto.
I just know a lot of the conversations that I'm having with everybody. So you kind of know, because I get people reach out to me, I have conversations, and you kind of then suddenly it's announced over time. So everybody's looking at it. Everybody.
Are there still skeptics? Are there still in 2017? Everybody was a skeptic. In the beginning of 2021, there were very few skeptics. When I speak to people now, 1% of them are skeptics. Are you feeling the same thing when you say, you hear the conversations? Are you feeling that right now we're over skepticism and it's how am I going to do this? I've got to get through the regulatory hurdles. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to store it. Versus, no, I'm not going to touch Bitcoin. I don't understand it.
It was. I think you're right. I think we got to something like 10% skepticism. So I think the ECB, the European Central Bank, spread the ESG FUD because European investors have a mandate, an ESG mandate, and it's taken extremely seriously. So all the ECB had to say is, hey guys, look at what you're doing. This looks like it's a pollutant and it's dangerous for the environment. Are you sure you want to do it? Because the ECB wants to slow down adoption while they roll out their own central bank digital currency and get this kind of control, regulation of the system. So I think it's the ECB.
So what do you think the flow was between ECB and Elon? Because Elon broke the FUD, right? Elon was the center point of the FUD.
No, it came before.
Okay.
What happened is, don't forget, Elon is applying to be a part of the US carbon credit system, a new one that's being built. So how better can you do this by saying, if the US government said to him, hey, listen, you can't have all this Bitcoin and apply for this permit, and or he thought he was going to get questioned about it, there's no better way than create more FUD around it, get the market to clean it up, and then he's able to just move forwards once the narrative's cleared. I think he knows what he's doing, and it was done on purpose, to get that credentials that he needs to be part of that, because Tesla's a large part of their revenues of these carbon credits, it's government subsidies, and also he also knows that it's a red herring. I mean, he's not stupid.
Okay, I mean, you say he knows what he's doing, and you say, I think what you're alluding to is that he's very calculated in his approach. He's not. What do you make of him and Dogecoin? I mean, do you?
He's calculated.
I used to think that the Dogecoin thing was a game, but I mean, this game's going very far now. This is
It's not a game, and the reason being is he's figured out pretty quickly that anything can now have value in this world, right?
He says the same thing. Raol Pal said the same thing. He said, he doesn't trade. He doesn't care. He's not greedy. He realized, and he's a trader. Remember, he's a smart trader. He's well-known, globally well-known. He doesn't trade. He just buys it and leaves it because he realizes. And I mentioned that regarding Matic, right? Where if you just bought Matic and held it, the amount of money you would have made is far less riskier than what I did. Talking about risk, I'll give you a good one. Rune. So I decided to trade some Rune yesterday, and I lost all of it. Right? So I just put it all on. I said, you know what? Sod it. Put it all on. Do a 10x on it. I bought out $13. It went to $12. 12 something. Wipe me out. Boom. Wipe out. Gone. Right? It just took Bitcoin to just kind of take a little turn, right? Flinch a little bit. And that was it. Wipe out, gone. So this is, again, it proves, right, that all Bitcoin has to do is make a sudden move, a very small, minute move, and everything else is wiped out. Everything. The other day you had like Yearn Finance, which went to like $93,000 or $97,000. Great, up, right? Everyone's all crazy, everyone's doing good. Bitcoin takes a little bit of a turn, boom, collapse, right? Goes to like 50%. This is the power BTC has. But mindset, definitely coming back to the thing, you know, control emotion, right? They both kind of play hand in hand. Emotion, it's true, you might not be able to control your emotion. You might feel bad, have a smile on your face, but you could easily be sad inside, or you could be sad outside and smile inside, right? We can't control those things, right? But our actions we can, and those actions are very important. One of the actions that I've been telling people is like, guys, do not panic sell. If you already bought it, do not panic sell. Do not do that. Also, you guys know very well that unless you have risk tolerance and risk management, I always say to you guys, do not do leverage trading. Like, for example, last night I lost all my room. So now I've got to wait for another dip to pick it all up again, and hopefully not do anything stupid. But again, I did it based on my risk tolerance. I was happy. I was like, it's okay. Do you know what? I'm bullish. I got a few. Boom. Let me play it. Let me deal with it. That's easy. It's not an issue, right? So sometimes you do that. Sometimes, you know, I will do that, but I did it based on something. And by the way, the same trade I did, like, I think it was like 5 minutes apart. I did Matic and I did Rune. So I played both of them because it was on the way up again. So I played both of them on a candle, and I said, right, let me see. I'm going to do a nice little 10x on both of them. My Rune flipped, so I lost Rune, but my Matic recovered every penny I lost. So I could have easily just gone back in and bought the whole Rune if I wanted to, but I didn't. I said, leave it there, let it carry on. So I actually haven't lost anything. I'll be honest with you. Money-wise, I'm still even. I'm break even. I even opened a few other trades. I opened one on Ethereum. I opened one on thing. But that's me doing leverage trading with actual risk management. All right, I'm doing it with actual risk management because I don't want to mess up my portfolio. So I know I can. There's a certain amount I can play. You know, I can afford to lose. So I've played that. That's all it is. Nothing more than that. I know people freak out when you see, but listen, it's nothing like that, right? You know. And also, I don't know if you guys notice, I tell you about the gains, but I've never shown you the gains. It's going to freak everybody out. That's the reason why, right? Because, you know, when I'm doing trades and I'm doing some massive things, I think I've shown it to a few brothers from another group. I used to show them, when was it? Last year or the year before, I showed them a few trades and I was showing them how I'm like, you know, 200% up, 300% up, right? And, you know, they saw it and it freaks you out. Mind-boggling, right? Mind-boggling. You know, is someone who's put, like, you know, just a rough example, I'll give you one, yeah? You put 10K down and you just made 100%, 100x, right? It's freaky because your 10K just came back with 100K. People freak out. So this is one of the reasons I don't really show them. I'm happy to show the losses because that will teach you a lesson, right? That this is how it works. I'm not the guy who's going to be trying to hype it. I'm going to try and show you the worst case scenario of it. Have a look and see how much you could lose and what your risk tolerance and how it should look like, right? What it should be. As I said, my holding portfolio is a different story. It's a different story. So that's what's going on, you know. But yeah, currently market exactly as I assumed. I'm not going to say predicted, right? Because there was no prediction there, right? As I said, the market's going to have a nice little bounce up and down. BTC is going to come down. Ethereum's going to come down. And the brother now hopefully understands that Ethereum did come down as soon as BTC came down. Because remember I said BTC still has the 33K. It's 33 something, right? So I'll call it 33K anyway. The 33K is still in play. So as long as the 33K is still in play, and we're not going back to 30K, we're fine, right? So the 33K is still in play, which means that Ethereum, doesn't matter how high it goes, you can pump 100% in a day, it will still dive down. It will still take a bit of a dump, right? And that's what I was talking about. Initial investments, as I said, it's entirely up to you how you do it. I mention all the time, I'm a 10% guy, I'm a 1% guy, but if I can make 10%, I'll take it out and I'll just get out and wait for a dip again, pick it up again and play that game, right? Because you know, I need to have, like, when I'm doing, so if I'm buying and holding, I have two methods, right? And I want to explain this here today, right? I have two methods. There's three, but I'm not going to talk about the third one. I'm going to talk about two specific methods that I use, right? So when I'm buying, right, and I want to hold on to it, and I've made my mind up that I'm going to hold on to it for 5 years, I'm going to hold on to it for 10 years, right? I'll tell you what I do. I buy and I throw it in a private wallet, cold storage, and I throw it away. Boom, done. That's not coming out. I'm not trading. I don't care what price it goes. That's one strategy. Strategy number 2, I do buy on spot and I sell back, but that's with my float money. That's got nothing to do with my holding portfolio. That's money I'm playing with to make more money. All right, I'm increasing my asset. I'm increasing my fiat value. I'm increasing what I'm holding. That's my play money, you know. So you got your real money, right, which for me is my BTC, right, and then you got your monopoly money. That's my monopoly money, right? So here I'm trying to increase as much more money as I can so that I can continue to buy and play these 10%, 5%, you know, ups and downs, right? So I'm not just leaving it there and just, you know, it's different. And then even then, when I do take profits, and I've talked about when I take profits out or when I take my initial investment out, say for example, I'm just gonna give you a rough example. I've put in, say, 1,000 pounds in there, or dollars, whatever you want to call it, and I made 10%, right? I'll leave 5 there. I'll take the other 5 out, and my 100% obviously, and the 5 I'll split it into Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? Stick around with number 1, number 2. Why you want to put another one? I have been kind of scaling into Binance. So this is my way of dollar cost averaging in. I'm not doing it with my money. I'm doing it with the profit. So, and I'm doing it on the exchange as much as I can. Also, I want to leave a message here. There's a fella called Electric Fellows. I'm gonna do a nice little video for you. You've left a really nice long comment with other questions and everything. I'm gonna make a dedicated video just for you to explain how these tax rules in XYZ work, right? Even though I'm not in the US, but I know enough, which is kind of universal for everybody. So we can work on that, right? I'm gonna do that for you. And I hope this kind of helps everybody. Because it is applicable everywhere. Because a lot of these rules, a lot of these things, people don't really understand. But also remember one thing: the Biden tax rule and this and that, they all come hand in hand, by the way. This is all coming. I mean, give it a decade. I don't think we're going to have high street banks. I think most banks are going to be online. And I think most banks are going to be settling their payments using crypto. I'm not joking. They're going to do it. They are already doing it, by the way. A lot of people don't know this. They are already doing this, right? They are using crypto to transfer funds, but they stick to the traditional time frames. Oh, 3 days to clear this, 4 days to clear that. It's bullshit. It's just more money making scams, right? It's the way they figured it out. They're already doing it. Your money's digital, right? It's digital. It's only physical when you go to a cash machine, and even then they don't even put too much there. They just put enough money there for, you know, they realize, okay, how much money does this person use? Okay, we'll just put it there. Just supply to demand, nothing more, all right? I've seen a cash machine near where I am, and I know the owner, and you know, they come, the people like from whatever company come and they take the money in these security vans and everything. And I asked him once, I said, how much do they put in? Because every time I seem to come here, I want to take some money out, right? I want to take some cash out. There's nothing in there. Guess what he said to me? He goes, they only put 1,000 in there. So why? He said, well, most people only take 10, 20 quid out. Exactly, that makes sense now. You know, so I'm going out there, I'm saying, give me 500. The machine hasn't got the money. Why? Because that's what he's getting there put in daily, right? If the demand is higher, of course they'll upgrade it. I mean, the machines have apparently a certain amount of capacity, right? Depends on how big it is, how much money you can handle. Another friend of mine, he's got a wine shop, and he's got one of those machines inside the shop where he gets paid per transaction. And I asked him, I said, what's your capacity? And he said his capacity is actually 500 pounds. So the machine can only accept 500 pounds, right? No more than that. You know, he can put combo, either he can put the 10 pound notes or 20 pound notes, but whatever happens, the minimum, he has to put 100 pounds worth of like 10 pound notes in there. Like, wow, okay, it makes sense. So this is how they work. You've got to understand the internals of certain things as well. But money's digital anyway. When you're moving money from one account to another, it's all digital, right? So, you know, I'm not gonna make this any longer. By the way, I don't think there's anything to talk about. Just chill out, relax. You know, this is me. If you watch it to the end, like, share, subscribe. There's a few new things coming, by the way. As I said, I mentioned already, I'm going to be speaking to someone on the channel through a video. So we're going to be recording a video where I whatever questions he has, I'm going to do that. I'll probably even start doing live streams, but guys, I need to know if you're all prepared to do the live stream with me, because you know what, I'm not going to bring Michael Saylor probably in the future, and Michael Saylor will probably come. You know, a lot of these guys, right, everyone's all crypto friendly, this friendly, that friendly, everyone, but the fact is something else. Most of these big boys, right, the fact, and this is a fact, and I'm not saying they're racist or anything, no, nothing like that. It's got nothing to do with skin color, trust me, they're all nice people, right? I'll be honest with you, they're all nice people, everyone's about freedom. But they won't go to a small channel. They won't come to my channel because I've got, what, I don't know, 1,500 or 1,200 or something like that. They won't come to me. I need to be an influencer, right, for them to come to me. So I'm not even going to bother. I mean, chance has it that maybe they might come, but I don't know. That's the reason why I'm like, you know what, I'm not even going to bother attempting it. But what I am going to do, I'm giving you, the viewers, your questions, your answers, ask me anything, you the opportunity, all right? And I don't want to do it through some live chat. I want you on the show. I want you on the show. So be prepared, right? Yeah. Still raining. Still raining. What a day, all right? What a day. Maybe I should start doing live streaming from the car. What'd you say? You know, 30 minutes of live streaming or 40 minutes of live streaming, right? While I'm driving. Most of this video, by the way, most of this video, I don't even cut them unless I'm kind of losing my mind or having a go at a driver or something like this, you know. Actually, I don't. I'm actually quite calm. In fact, you won't believe this. I'm on the motorway or highway or whatever you call it, freeway, you guys call it. I'm just chilling. No joke. There's no, you know, speedy driving or anything. I just chill, calm, relax, you know. There's no rush, you know. I'm not trying to, you know, just relax. But there's so much.